if I say all men, do I also mean trans men? That is an excellent question, and there's a couple parts to this. Number one, first of all, very few people ever say all men. Most videos you'll see by women, people like myself, will say things like, men, please stop doing this. Nowhere does that say all men who have existed on this earth. It says men. Men is a collective noun that can refer to any groups of men. It can mean some men. It can mean this select group of men over here. If you're in a room with 5 men and you say men, do you think it means all men? No, it means those 5 men right there. So usually when people say men don't do this, they're referring to the men who actually do those things. So men, leave women alone if you approach them in public and won't take no for an answer. Means men who don't take no for an answer, stop approaching women in public. But of course, if a man sees that and all of a sudden gets all shitty and is like, well, not all men, and starts getting all defensive, then it shows that he is one of those men. So that's just a thing that I needed to get out of the way, because I've seen this happen a lot now. People are like, well, don't say all men, and nobody ever did. Secondly, when we're talking about trans men, you're talking about any type of marginalized group within, subset within men, gay men as well. I would say that there is a bit of an exception for that. Because yes, you are not fitting within what toxic masculinity says is a man. Because we know those toxic men that are like, yeah, you're not a real man. Obviously, they're just because they're Neanderthals, and so if you're not subscribing to what toxic masculinity considers a man, then I don't find that you would fall within that men subset in an all men basis. However, if you are someone who comes to, both pre and post transition, you have beliefs like men's rights are at risk, or that there's a balancing act and we have to look at both sides and there's no such thing as male privilege, then your thought process is just as problematic. And so you are just as misogynistic, and yes, still a problem. And then finally, even if you don't believe that way, if you present as a man, then you still present physically as a risk to women. It's not something that you can control. You automatically do, because once again, women don't know who is safe. And if you present as a man, then you are a potential risk. And so that's something that you will have to, I think, just realize as it'll happen occasionally. And that's just a part of society. And once again, until it is not all men, then it has to be all men, even you, because until women know who the safe ones are, they can't trust anyone who's male presenting. So I hope that helps. And this is Bacon.